Today, the United States of America represents a rich and culturally diverse land made up of a mosaic of people from every corner of the world. The United States has symbolized for many to be a place where dreams and aspirations could be realized. Some people came to escape oppressive regimes, wars, persecution. They were in search of political and religious freedom, but above all, immigrants have come to this country for hope of a better life. For thousands of years, people have migrated to what is now the United States. In fact, the Native Americans claimed North America as their home until a group of European immigrants embarked on a historical voyage and settled in Plymouth, Massachusetts in 1620. Their intent was to escape their oppressive homeland in search of a place where they could build a better life. This idea continued to be a recurring theme for millions of people over the past 400 years. European immigration at its peak in 1907 welcomed over 1.2 million immigrants. In fact, the United States has welcomed and naturalized more people than all countries combined. However, today the influx of illegal immigrants that come to the United States has become a problem. Presently, there are more than 1 million people entering the United States each year, and most of these immigrants come from impoverished countries such as Latin America and Asia in search of a higher socioeconomic level. Currently, it is estimated that there are between 12 to 20 million illegal immigrants in the United States. Unfortunately, such a large influx of people has created negative impacts such as overcrowded and underfunded schools, disease, increased crime, environmental degradation, loss of language and culture, and social conflict. This has become an extremely concerning issue for many Americans, and as a result, just recently a new law called SB1070 has been signed into law by Arizona's Governor Jan Brewer. This law requires people to carry documentation with them at all times to prove their legal status in the United States. Otherwise, people are subject to arrest and deportation. It empowers police officers to stop and interrogate every individual in the state who they think have a reasonable suspicion, and makes it a crime to be undocumented. In fact, anyone who does not have their papers with them can be charged with a misdemeanor, even if they are of legal status within the United States. This law unjustly targets people who fit a certain physical profile, and for many critics, this law is considered to be unconstitutional. Stopping, arresting, interrogating, and prosecuting a person based on racial profiling are all human rights violations. Mr. Bruce Goldberg has been an immigration lawyer for the past 25 years. He's a prominent law attorney that states the following.
Obviously, there are serious concerns that there may be racial profiling and violation of individual civil rights.
In essence, this law will result in many negative outcomes because it only encourages segregation and increases racial divide among its citizens. The effects of this law will have a direct result of dividing us further, and is a setback of the ideals of community, justice, and equality that has been achieved during the civil rights movement of the 1960s. One of the most concerning issues is that similar laws are being considered in other states. For example, Republican candidate Rick Scott supports this law and has stated that if elected would bring this law to Florida. This would only lead to further dividing the country.
It appears that many undocumented people have decided to leave Arizona. This could also happen in Florida. I'd say that also with so many legal Latinos, Hispanics, there may be those who choose not to visit or relocate or invest in Florida. And of course that would have a great deal of harm on our economy.
As a result of Arizona's SB 1070, many people from the Hispanic community have boycotted anything to do with Arizona.
I was planning to go with my family to Arizona, but with the new law we're afraid of harassment, so we're not going anymore.
I don't want nobody to visit Arizona, nobody to buy anything that has to do with Arizona. I want the people that live in Arizona to not buy anything if they don't need it. If you don't need to go shopping, don't go shopping. We need to show them the power we have.
The call for a boycott has come from city governments like Los Angeles, San Francisco, the federal Mexican government, and even Arizona's own Congressman Raul Guevara.
We're asking organizations, civic, religious, labor, Latino organizations of color to refrain from using Arizona as a convention site, to refrain from spending their dollars in the state of Arizona until Arizona turns the clock forward instead of backwards.
Other negative consequences that have come from the influence of SB 1070 is a new law that had just passed by the state legislature of Arizona, which allows school teachers with heavy accents to be fired, as well as state funding bans of ethnic study programs. If nothing is done, SB 1070 will become law in state after state after state, furthering the divide and racial tension in a country that has come so far in respect to civil justice. From its humbling beginnings, the United States has been built by immigrants. This nation is made up of a diverse group of people with different races and ethnicities, and this diversity is what makes us such special and such an incredibly unique nation. SB 1070 is a step back that dismantles all the efforts and achievements that thus far have been achieved. Allowing SB 1070 to become law without standing up and rejecting it would be allowing all of the milestones that have been achieved over the past 400 years to simply be forgotten, and that is the biggest injustice of all.